In today's tense lesson, we'll be looking at mastering tenses for IELTS general writing, and we're going to focus on the 4 past tenses. So much like our previous lesson, we'll take a look at these different tenses, when they are used, how we can form them, their structure, as well as a couple of examples within a letter context. So up first, we have past simple. Again, just as the name says, it's a pretty simple tense, often taught very early on to English learners. And it describes completed actions in the past. They happened in the past, they're not ongoing now. Completed in the past. And quite simply, subject plus the past tense form of the verb. Let's see an example within a formal situation. Congratulations on your promotion. I believed in you from my first day. So there we're sending a congratulatory letter, probably to someone we work with, a colleague. I believed. To believe, past tense, believed. Pretty straightforward. And within an informal context, do you remember when we went to that amazing beach in Dorset? We, subject, past tense, verb, went, present tense, to go. So went, of course, irregular verb. Okay, won't say much more on past simple. I'm sure you'll probably be using it within many of your letters. Past continuous describes ongoing actions in the past. So these are completed actions that were ongoing. We're kind of stressing that this action, this event was happening, was continuing for some time in the past. Subject, was or were, plus present participle, that verb ing. While you were away, he was collaboratively working on improvements. He, subject, was singular subject, collaboratively, so adding a bit of detail with an adverb. And then, of course, our present participle, working. He was working. Okay, and our informal example, we really were trying to make things better here while you were off. We were trying. We is a plural subject. We were trying. Okay, I'll not go too much further into this. And now we have our past perfect. Again, back onto the perfect tenses, slightly more advanced in terms of using them accurately for sure. Past perfect expresses an action completed before another action in the past. So we're kind of talking about 2 events, but focusing on the first event in the past. It happened before something else. Bit confusing, but maybe the examples will help. Structure is subject plus had plus our past participle, such as sleep, slept. Slept is our past tense verb and our past participle. Let's see some more examples. First up, in a formal situation. Before your arrival, the local swimming pool had fallen out of favour. Local swimming pool, subject, plus had, plus past participle, fallen, which of course is the past participle of fall. And within an informal context, after all that effort at college, he hadn't learnt much about history. You, subject, and now we have the negative past perfect form, had not, hadn't, so in informal situations, hadn't learnt, which is the past participle of learn. Okay, our final past tense is past perfect continuous. How do we use it? An action in the past that is still happening in the present. Subject plus had been plus present participle, so verb ing. Let's take a look. Before renovations, we had been discussing selling the house and garden. We is, of course, the subject. Had been discussing. We had been discussing. Okay, let's see the informal example. Here we have our contraction. Of course, contractions generally are a bit more semi-formal or informal within use. We'd been tossing around the idea of starting a new online store. Tossing around is a bit of a phrasal verb, and it's actually quite an informal phrasal verb too. We'd been tossing around the idea of starting a new online store. Okay, there you go. So that's a run through of past tense forms, all 4 of them. And of course, we have some structures and examples. If you have any questions at this point, I remind you, jump in the Q&A section.